Dikakanyo dintle. Amacaba amahle, good ideas. Dikakanyo dintle. The Durban Harbours joined together. Here in Durban, which is the third biggest city in South Africa, it's a major city, there is a Durban Harbour which is known internationally. It was apparently developed in 1857. And in the 20th century, it went under significant expansion and modernization. Between 1904 and 1910, the harbour was transformed with the construction of new berths, quays, and dredging works. This development enabled the harbour to accommodate larger vessels and increase trade. So while the harbour's origins date back to 1850s, the early 1900s were indeed a pivotal time for its expansion and growth. So I believe since they've been plans to build a new harbour at the Old Durban International Airport, 50 or 100 years from now, the harbours will be joined together because there were plans to remove people from Reunion, which is a very low-class suburb. It's more like houses for former railway people during apartheid. And Bluff itself is also low-class. That's where we are staying. The only difference between Bluff and Umbil is that it has got an ocean, but it's also a low-class suburb. So I think in the next century they'll want to remove the Bluff also, and I think it would be a great idea. But they cannot do that if they have not yet done the dig-out at the Old Durban International Airport. It's still too early to think about that, but once that falls, because they said the harbour at the Old International Airport will take about 10 years to build, and after 10 years it will still have many people waiting for it. Then maybe only after then they can start thinking about joining them together, making it one huge harbour. Who knows, maybe it will be the biggest in the world. That's just my opinion, that maybe it might be a great idea for it to be joined together. When the old dig-out port has been developed and finally it is busy, you remove the middle suburbs. Because I found that at the old Claywood race course, it's now a logistics park because they are trying to accommodate the new harbour. But now there have been disagreements about paying people from Reunion, removing them and digging out. But I think the best thing to do before you remove those people, take them further south, take them close to Amanzimtot, where there are villages like Mkababa, Ezimpogotwe, and Yellow. You can see that there are villages, but there's been a huge transformation. First, take them there, remove a person from Union, build them a better house, much better than where they were staying, and then pay them 2 million. They'll have no reason to refuse because you didn't take them too far anyway. So I think that's the way to work around it. Remove a point where exactly you are going not too far, just further south, and then pay. Maybe that's the best way because I think it has got all it takes. The International Airport has been removed. It has got a good history. Opened in 1951 and closed in 2010. It will always be a good history of this country. Even now when you go past, you can still see the old writing of the International Airport, but now it has been relocated. Apparently this was an emergency landing, so I don't know what could have happened. So I think what can be done, they could just join the Harbours together. Right now it's owned by Transnet and Toyota parking their cars there, but maybe in the next century they'll start thinking of joining them together.
One of the busiest on the African continent and the 9th largest in the world, but with the growing demands of imports and exports, it's fast exceeding its capacity to handle cargo. Government has proposed a new dugout port, currently estimated to cost 75 billion rands. With escalating costs, the figure upon completion could be at 200 billion rands.
It will not be sufficient enough to be able to handle the growth of exports and imports. And in that regard, we require to have a new port, a port that will have a greater efficiency, a port that can handle big mega ships that will be coming to dock here.
The development will create 64,000 jobs during the construction and a further 28,000 permanent jobs thereafter. But residents and environmentalists have expressed concern over the new development.
This project is beyond South Africa. It's about the future of our continent. It's about the future of our region. How do we facilitate trade, meaningful trade in Southern Africa? How do we address unemployment, lack of skills?
The development is expected to be completed by 2037.
So I think it would be a great idea that they are just trying together.
So apparently there is an international.
What do you think? I think it's a great idea.
International airport line completely either. So there is an airport, an international airport in Durban, the Durban International Airport to be precise, which is just, however, had a bit of a challenge. Its 2.4 kilometer runway was too short for a Boeing 747 and other large aircraft to take off. This obviously restricted its international appeal. Because the Durban International Airport cannot accommodate such large planes, they were losing international flights. But to accommodate or to fix the problem, King Shaka International Airport was soon built. It is much larger than the Durban International Airport and has 3.7 kilometer runway, which could accommodate larger aircraft. King Shaka basically became the primary international airport in Durban. In 2012, Transnet bought the Durban International Airport's terminal building, runways, and 800 hectares of open fields from the airport's company South Africa for 1.85 billion rand. Transnet planned to develop the former Durban International Airport into a dig-out mega container port for heavy modern cargo vessels. Transnet said...
So I think that's one way of looking at it. Once the dig-out port is done, it will create lots of jobs. And there'll be a time where it needs more. It needs more. So maybe 100 years down the line it will join together. That's just my idea. But proposing it is a good idea because it's in the low class side of Durban anyway.